It was about 4 o'clock in the morning. My husband Matt woke me up, and he was holding a piece of paper that said call 911. He couldn't breathe, and as I dialed the telephone, Matt went over to his desk and very calmly wrote down all of his symptoms. The paramedics arrived, and we got him to the hospital, and they scoped him, and the ENT doctor came out and gave us a diagnosis of reflux. We left the hospital with a very expensive prescription for reflux medication and strict instructions that Matt needed to sleep in an elevated position for at least the next 6 weeks. We got home, and sleeping in an elevated position wasn't nearly as easy as one might think it was. We had a lot of difficulty doing that. And that's how I came up with the Gravity1st sleep solution. Oh gosh, the first prototype consisted of me going down into the basement, do a little shopping, and I went down, I found some metal shelves from an old shelving unit that were supposed to hold so many hundreds of pounds of pressure on them, and I went up to the living room where it was the only space that I had at the time to set up this contraption. I rolled up the rug and I laid down the shelves and I measured it, and it was a 7-inch incline. And as soon as I do that, I thought, he can do this, we can sleep. I just had to make a sleeping surface. So I took another mattress, I put it on top of the shelves, and that's where he slept for the next 6 weeks, and really completely symptom-free. But every morning I looked at this contraption from the kitchen and I said, you know, if that mattress were just the shape of a piece of cheese, and it were inflatable, and I could put it on top of our bed and it would just disappear in the morning, my life would be a lot easier. And I drew it out on a piece of paper and I started researching it, and through all my research I found that one of the #1 recommended positions for people who have reflux is head elevated. It's a lifestyle change. It's actually the first thing that they recommend when somebody first gets diagnosed. Before they write you a prescription, before you start taking lots of pills, they tell you, in this order, they want you to elevate the head of your bed, lose weight, stop smoking, avoid alcohol, avoid caffeine, and avoid the foods that trigger your reflux. And since Matt didn't seem to have any of the typical symptoms that took place during the day, you know, we said, well, he can't avoid any of these things, but the one thing he can do is sleep on an incline. And so that's where we started, and it absolutely helped. His reflux is almost non-existent now. And it was perfect for watching television. It was the perfect incline for watching television. And so we joked in the beginning, we used to say things like, well gosh, if my reflux ever goes away, we'll just pull this out to watch TV on it. There are gonna be times when people don't have reflux, but there's always gonna be a time when somebody in your family has a cold or the flu. And in those instances, where do you always end up sleeping? You end up sleeping on the couch, propped up on a bunch of pillows. And it's not comfortable, it's not conducive for people coming in and out of your household. But the reason you do it is because you want to be elevated. And even if you just kept a Gravity1st sleep solution around for those times when you had colds and flu, it's worth it. And when all else fails, watch TV on it, and enjoy it. Invite the whole family and watch TV on it. It started out as a prototype in the living room floor and ended up as something that we're very, very proud of. If you have any questions at all about whether or not Gravity can help you get a better night's sleep, please don't hesitate to contact us via our social network. We'd love to answer all of your questions.